According to the Book of Claus, Santa, Satan's only son, lost a bet and was forced to spread Christmas cheer. But now, all bets are off.
Santa?
Yes, there is a Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho!
Welcome to Film Strip. I'm Jay.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Ron.
This is our review of Santa's Sleigh, starring Bill Goldberg, Douglas Smith, Emily DeRaven, Robert Culp, Dave Thomas, Saul Rubinek, and in like a 5-minute cameo, Rebecca Gayheart, Chris Kattan, Fran Drescher, and freaking James Caan, who apparently all owed someone a favor. Directed by David Steinman, who's never directed anything else because he pretty much works for Brett Ratner, one of the producers here. Released in 2005. No budget numbers. I can't imagine it made any money. So it's holiday time, and we just finished the Twilight series, and we thought we can't leave it on that. We have to finish 2014 with a thud. And so Brian, please be explaining to us while we're watching this Bill Goldberg joint called Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, I'd be happy to. So, oh gosh, 2 years ago now, Jay, you and I were trying to come up with some ideas of what we could do for a Christmassy movie that was not your typical, Elf or Christmas Vacation or something like that. Something fun. And we looked at all sorts of, we were on a horror kick at the time and kind of still are, but we were looking at all sorts of different things like Christmas and a couple other things. And I found this on Amazon and said, we have to do it because it stars Bill Goldberg and that can't be good. And so we had it on the back burner for probably 2 years, and I actually just bought the damn thing probably 2 months ago and said, we got to do it now because I own the thing. And so here we are.
Only for me to find out a couple days after you bought it that, hey, it's free on YouTube.
That's all right. I didn't pay much.
Yeah, well, Ron and I paid free. So, I think this is a good melding of where we've been really the last half of the year, if you want to look at it. I mean, we've done a lot of action films. Ron, you've been in on a chunk of that. And we've done a lot of horror films. Ron, you're on some of that. Brian, you were in on the big piece of that with the Halloween. So we just, we decided, well, we did the romantic horror dramedy, whatever, that is Twilight. We wanted to do something kind of fun to go out with a bang. So that here we are. We're at Santa's Sleigh, and I had only seen just the basic rundown of the plot that you had sent me from Amazon when we were talking about doing this. And I said, I agree with you with the idea that with Bill Goldberg and it can't be good. I just want to know how it was done and what they're going to do. And I went in like totally spoiler free. I had no idea what was going to happen. The only thing I had done ahead of time was read the cast list. And literally when I read that, the back 5 names from the cast, I was like, how the hell did these people get roped into this? Before I learned, how little of the movie they're actually in. So
right.
So, now, Ron,
they all owed Brett Ratner a favor.
I want to know, man, like if that's the case or not, because it certainly seems that way. But so now, Ron, you had any connection to Santa's Sleigh before we brought it to your table here?
No, I had no connection to the movie. I just have a visceral dislike of Bill Goldberg as a professional wrestler and also as a vomiting football player.
I think that might have to be explored over on the sister podcast, Squared Circle Flashbacks, one day, Brian. So
the vomiting football player part?
No, the vomiting wrestler.
Yes, that
too. So, yeah.
Should we do all 170 some wins in a row? Oh wait, there's not really that many.
we could just.
We do all 15.
We could just stick to the Monday Nitro in 1998 that took place in Louisville that I attended and booed him quite lustfully.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. You learn something new every day around here. So, well, I'll tell you, Goldberg for me, I remember this was in a big wrestling watching phase of the Monday Night Wars for me. I thought, this is kind of neat. And then what I realized, of course, being the older member of the group of my friends that I was watching all this with was, guys, I've seen this before. except the last time the guy ran out to rock and roll music and shook the ropes a lot. This is the Ultimate Warrior, just without the cool music, and it's squash matches against a bunch of nobodies, and they're finally going to put him over by letting him beat Hogan. And doggone it if I wasn't right. So that's my whole connection to Bill Goldberg. I take or leave him, don't really care either way about it.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
He also doesn't have the Warrior's great hair.
This is true.
And he made no money with Hogan.
Yeah.
Because they wasted it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but beyond the wrestling stuff, him as an actor, I don't know that I've seen him in anything else. I know he's been in stuff, but the thing is, I've seen the lead girl here. Emily DeRaven is like a big TV star now. She was in Lost. She's on Once Upon a Time. I knew her from a couple of movies I've seen her in, and I've always kind of liked her. I thought she was kind of, she's cute and sort of a different way, and kind of that, I don't know, post-alternative chick thing, but
she's a great like spunky female type. Yeah.
And Douglas Smith, I think, looks like someone that should have been on a sitcom or was on a sitcom and had the hot sister and he was the dumb brother or something. I don't know if that's what he is at all, but that's just how he comes off. And
he looks like to me he looks like Ryder Strong from the friend from Boy Meets World.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking more of Ralph Macchio, but
he's got a little bit of that too. Yeah,
oh, that works too. Yeah,
that's not bad. So, but either way, I knew those. Of course, Robert Culp, Greatest American Hero, and a lot of other schlocky films. One of which is also Christmas themed, Silent Night, Deadly Light 3. So
Toymaker.
Yeah, which the Toymaker's 5. So I'm sad to know that I know that. So, but yeah, no, he's the cop as is per the usual in his casting contracts. But here he's almost the grandfather out of Terror Vision, which if either of you seen that, we could talk about it a little bit.
In my notes I mentioned, hey, they used the vault from Terror Vision.
Yeah, exactly. So, but let's get into it, boy, before it gets any further. I guess we need to do a plot summary. So I will not be singing this or rhyming it in any Christmassy way, but we'll just go with it here. So it turns out that Santa Claus, the jolly old elf, kind-hearted gift giver we've all, grown to know and love and cry in front of when we were children and seen drink a lot of Coca-Cola, is actually the son of Satan. All right? Because over 1,000 years ago, while he was torturing elves and fishing with them, literally using them as bait, he lost a bet with an angel in a nice game of curling that he had to play nice for an entire millennium. And so he's remained true to his word, spread a lot of Christmas cheer, but now he's ready to take his revenge. And he starts killing folks almost at random in and around a little place called Hell's Township. Local townie Nicholas Yulson, who lives with his crazy grandpa, learns the true story of Santa and sees the jolly old elf's handiwork in the form of his murdered Jewish boss. The cops try to pin the crime on Nicholas, but his girl/friend, Mary McKenzie, bails him out just before Santa lays waste to the police station, a la Michael Myers in Halloween 4. Mac and Nicholas escape, but Grandpa is actually run over by Santa's hill deer and seemingly killed. Our teen heroines hide out in the local gym, but Santa finds them there, and it turns out that Grandpa was actually the angel that beat Santa into bed all those years ago. They have a rematch, but this time Santa double-crosses him and seemingly throws Grandpa into hell. But as Christmas ends and Santa's powers apparently begin to dwindle, he flees in his sleigh, but Mac's gun-crazy father shoots down the hell deer with a bazooka, which is completely legal and licensed, officer. And the local pastor, who is also a local strip club patron, is found wearing the Santa suit and is presumed to be the killer as Nicholas and Mac kiss in the moonlit snow. And in a post-credit scene, we see that Santa has indeed escaped and is reading his naughty list when he looks into the camera and asks, "Who's next?" And screen cuts to black. And thank God the answer to that is no one. And that is the plot summary for Santa's Sleigh. So first impressions, I just want to get it out of the gate before we get into the, I guess we'll say, main course of the movie here. Just first impressions of how this 74 minutes of jolly holiday fun went down for you.
Can I just say, did I miss the who's next scene?
It's at the very, 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 very end.
After the credits?
Yep.
Oh, see, I didn't watch after the credits. I was done. That's awesome. I'm going to go back and watch that now.
I only did because I read about that, and I said, well, now I got to go back and see it. So,
wow.
yeah.
You know they set this up for a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Wow.
I ended up leaving my computer on, and I went to go get a drink. And when I came back, Goldberg yelled at me. So that's how I discovered there was a post-credit scene.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, now I need to go back and watch the post-credit scene because I was frantically trying to watch this between my kids coming up and down the stairs because I don't want them watching this kind of a movie.
Yes.
And so they kept coming up and down, so I was pausing constantly. I'm like, So by the time the credits started rolling, they were down there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna now I'm kind of upset.
You missed the best part, or the one joke that worked.
Right?
Look at it. So. Well, let's do it though. First impressions, just having watched it, because I think we all have watched it in the last day or two here. I'll tell you, I honestly sat there, just staring at the wall, having watched this on my computer, going, "Did I get all of that?" And I had to go back and kind of scan through it a little bit later on just to make sure I caught parts of it. There's parts of this movie that I think are lost on me, honestly.
I actually really had a good time with it. I started playing a little game of spot the references, in the dialogue. So I've got he said,
"Move,
Grandpa,
bitch, get out the way."
Yeah.
Yes. I got that one down. I got Hope looks a lot like Keith Morrison from Dateline NBC.
Yep.
The You'll Shoot Your Eye Out from Christmas Story, the TerrorVision Bunker, the Necronomicon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Dave Thomas being Dave Thomas. The opening credits scene is the song from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, except not the Mavis Staples version. Take your. I like the I like how Goldberg kept saying, "I'm not Dracula," but Saul.
I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula.
Yes, but Saul Rubinek was holding up his Star of David like it would ward him off, like it was a Dracula cross.
I guess it kind of would work in this film mythology, but can we go ahead and lay that out right now? Like the joke is that most of the principal cast and apparently the production crew are also Jewish. So, so it's a.
And there's a lot of Jewish people in the film, as far as you got the whole Hasidic Jews coming out of Mass, and Goldberg walks by them, and you got the Jew who runs the restaurant, and the old lady who doesn't like him because of it, and yeah.
I think you mean the Amish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Amish.
Yeah, the Amish. Yeah, that's great. So, but I'm looking at it going like, okay, I get that the people making this movie realize, look, we know it's stupid. It's got to be stupid. The stupider it can be, the better, right? Like there's no point are they trying to be vaguely even serious about this. I mean, Brian, we've recently completed the Leprechaun series, and for what I think will be all eternity, because I don't think they'll ever make another one.
Correct,
but remember, we talked about one of the biggest problems that new one did is it tried to take itself so seriously. So on some level, I give these people credit, and David Steinman, the director particularly, for knowing, look, we've got to play the joke, and everybody that knows Goldberg knows he's Jewish. He had the Star of David on his friggin' trunks for years. I mean, we got to play with that, and so they just went with it. And I think that's funny.
Yeah, I think it's funny too. But I agree. I like the fact that they didn't try to make this movie into something serious. They were completely making this kind of one of those campy type films. Otherwise, I think this would have been pretty worse than it was. But I'm with Ron too, though. I had fun with this movie. I knew it wasn't going to be anything spectacular going in, so I just enjoyed everything for what it was.
Well, I mean, for me, the best part of any horror movie is watching repulsive people get murdered. So, at the very cold opening,
yes,
where it's James Caan and Fran Drescher and Chris Kattan, and they're all just horrible people. Yeah. I was just so cheered up that they all just got murdered in spectacular ways.
Can we talk about the worst, cameo-laden, multi-kill, awful family opening of all time? It did feel like a cold open for an SNL gone bad or something.
Yeah, it felt like I was watching Royal Tenenbaums, and then they were all getting murdered.
It actually made me think of an old SNL skit. It's the one where they're all eating dinner, or rather they're pushing food around on plates because of the cold food, but it's Will Ferrell and he keeps they're talking around the table trying to be polite, and they just devolve into screaming at each other. And Will Ferrell yells stuff like,
I think I remember that one, yeah.
I drive a Hyundai Elantra. I'm an important man. And that just made me think of that.
It is hilarious because you got one apparently that's cheating on one with the other. You got these skanky people over to the left. You got James Caan going, "Why the hell am I here?" You know, I mean, it's all this, and then they get laid out by Santaberg, we're just going to call him, for the rest of the show here in spectacular ways. Like he tears them to pieces, and it is. I'm sitting there going like, well, I guess from the get go we're supposed to root for Santa and Satan Santa. Okay, so that's fine. If he's going to come out and kill like all the naughty people, I'm actually going to go for this movie. If this is the story,
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I'm going to ding this though because at no time else I won't say at no time else, but they don't play with this much after the grandma kill later on.
I liked that. I liked that in the very opening. One of the little jokes I noticed was when Santaberg punted that dog.
Yes,
and then it was either James Caan or Chris Kattan. One of them was like, "Oh, well, I'm okay with that. It makes
James
sense."
Caan, yeah, because he bitched about the dog before.
Yeah, he didn't like the dog anyway. Then
the dog got to try the turkey.
Yeah, then he gets killed with the chicken leg to the face.
Oh, God,
Have either of you seen Killer Joe with Matthew McConaughey? It makes that scene even more disturbing. If you've seen that, folks, you know what I'm talking about. But I was brutal. But I thought, well, we killed the Noxzema girl, Rebecca Gayheart. we killed what was his name? The wild guy that would eat all the
Mango.
Yeah, we killed Mango.
No, not Mango, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we killed.
It's a different Chris Kattan.
Yeah, we killed Chris Kattan. We killed one of the what's his other thing? The
Roxbury guys?
Yeah, we killed one of the Roxbury guys. I can't remember any of this now. We killed one of the Roxbury guys real quick. We killed, one of the stars of The Godfather, among other things. Mm-hmm. So, and we killed the nanny, which I was always for because I hate Fran Drescher. So, I was down for that. And I was waiting for Santa to just burn the house down as he walked out, too. I mean, it's a very startling open to a film.
I'm just glad they didn't reference The Godfather when they killed James Caan.
Yeah, like shoot him up in a turnstile or something. He gets caught in the door. Yeah, that'd have been lame. Yeah.
Did you get the feeling that when our main character Nicholas was heading home and opening all those doors, that he was walking into that house?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Before we get to him, though, we got to talk about the opening scroll. And Brian, I wrote in my notes like very Leprechaun-ish. Like there were at least 3 of those films that had an opening scroll that told us things.
But the opening scroll sucked because it was all in different languages and they had hidden words in there, and so you had to actually pay attention to get anything out of it. So I actually hated it. I don't like that. I mean, if you're gonna tell me the story, lay it out for me, and they do later.
Not in a movie like this. You don't want to have to read.
Exactly.
I'm like, why do we have to think now? You just showed me everything I need to know. It's like, what is all this crap? That's what I was actually asking myself. I was like, why are we gonna have this? Can't we just get into more kill? I mean, that seems to be more fun.
I just sang along to the Christmas Vacation song.
And see, I did not connect that until you said that now, but now I'm like, oh yeah. So apparently Brett Ratner's got no problems just ripping off other stuff.
Hey man, this is all about ripping everything off. That's what he did here. You obviously had some great screenwriters.
I think it's called homage or homage, maybe in this case, or appropriate translation. But yeah, they move on, and we do get to meet our heroines early. We do meet Nicholas. We meet the old lady. Can we talk about the old lady in the Jewish meat store? I guess it is.
My God, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, what an awful person. But every stereotypical, like the smoking Aunt Martha that drives all over the road is. I mean, I saw Santa's sleigh with, and I only know it's called the Hell Deer because that's what it tells me in the behind the scenes stuff.
He says it in the movie too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I missed that.
He mentions
it. For catching it. Well, I'm like, Santa's got like a buffalo.
Yes, that's what it is. It's a fucking bison.
Yes, and it
with
is
a red nose.
And he's got his own IMDb page. They both do.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, it is a great
by
looking
2 different buffalo.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those things that, Han is going to freeze in hell with on Hoth. I mean, it certainly looks like a tauntaun.
A little bit.
Just a little fatter.
Look, but he was definitely not a deer. He was definitely a buffalo.
Indeed, yeah.
But I liked the buffalo a lot. I thought that was a cool ride for Santa.
I liked how Santa just ran her off the road, and she had like this action film car crash.
Ooh, bitch, get out the way.
You know what that car crash made me think of?
What?
In trauma flicks, they filmed the car crash for Sergeant Kabuki Man, and they kept reusing the car crash for like 15 years. Like, the car is obviously like an early 80s, like a big Buick or Oldsmobile type of thing, but they reused it literally into the 2000s, and that it's basically kind of like that car crash. So that's just.
Yeah, that was my other question. This movie's made in 2005, but when is this supposed to be happening?
Good question.
There's nothing like it is hard to date this because the cars are all kind of generic late 80s, early 90s, Gennaro vehicles. Are there any cell phones? I don't remember that. I mean, there's nothing in here that tells me this is 2005. It's more like 1985.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the terrible version of Gremlins because you've got the inventor.
That's a good point. I was actually thinking the same thing earlier today. I'm like, this is like watching Gremlins.
I just needed Mac to do a monologue about her father getting stuck in the, the chimney with a landmine or something, because it would have fit the character. So, what do you make of our two heroines here, though, guys? Nicholas and Mary Mac McKenzie.
I think Mary Mac's a little skank.
What was it the old lady called her? Whore.
Oh, seriously. She's like, yeah, yes. I think that fits.
I don't know. I liked her. I think that actress is cute.
Oh, no, she's definitely
There's nothing
cute.
wrong with that.
She's definitely cute, but that character vacillates between, cute girl next door to like wacko, gun-toting, Sarah Connor's,
there you go.
Cousin or something.
But her dad does own a bazooka. I mean, clearly she's gonna, you grew up in the South, Jay. You know people, gun people. Everyone in the family has a gun.
Yeah. Oh, one of our administrative assistant, female, we'd call them secretaries back in the day. Huge gun nut. I mean, the woman's maybe 4'10" tall, but she owns like an arsenal. So yeah, I know people like that. Yeah, that it would start with daddy makes total sense. I get that, but she goes from being like I said, like Sarah Connor with we know who she is. She's the younger version of Reba McEntire's character in Tremors. That's who she is. She's that. She goes from that to sort of put upon wannabe girlfriend of Nicholas here.
Yeah,
when she buys him a transformer, and she's like she's coming onto him miles before he ever picks up on it.
No, because at the beginning she basically blows him off, and then all of a sudden she wants him.
Yeah.
And then she wants him. It's like, what the fuck?
So she's
what kind of mixed signals are you sending?
Let's not pretend that there's any consistent character motivation in this movie.
Well, I wonder how long it took to film this, and if it was the distance that it took to film, something else, that maybe it would maybe they shot it over several months and they just forgot where they were supposed to be. I don't know. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was. I thought she was kind of weird, but I didn't really care much for the Nicholas character either. I thought he was kind of a doofus.
He is a doofus.
And it was like to the point of this guy can't be our hero because he's just a dipshit.
Well, I mean, clearly the grandpa's the hero, like Lost Boys style.
Wow.
Yeah, I did need him to like stay out of my fridge and don't touch the roof. Like where was that?
That's the worst thing about living in Hill Township. All the damn Satans.
Exactly. Where was that? Yeah, I wanted some of that because he definitely Robert called. Let's just get into Grandpa here because I'm with you guys. Nicholas is a dipshit, so I'm done with him. But Grandpa is awesome because the Grandpa is pretty much the Grandpa from Terror Vision, right? I mean, Nick and I reviewed that a long time ago, but I'll never forget that guy. It's like the survivalist, give the kid an M16. It's coming for us. He's got his own bunker, and this Grandpa's got a bunker. He reads the history in Icelandic, ease and all.
It's Norse.
It's
Norse, not Icelandic.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
And if you don't practice it, you're going to forget it.
Well, obviously.
But obviously the kid didn't forget a damn thing, because then he goes and reads the book like no problem.
Right, yeah. Can we talk about that? They're revealing the plot through the reading of the book, but then they cut away from it for 15 damn minutes to do nothing.
That kind of pissed me off a little, yeah.
Yes, I was angry at that. But when they do come back to it, it's glorious, and we'll come to that scene in a minute. But I was like, come on. I love, though, this Grandpa character, and I just didn't get enough of him. And I bet Colt was like, I'll do this for 2 days, and then give me my money and go away. So...
I don't know. He looked like the only one in the movie who actually enjoyed it, besides Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Robert Culp and Goldberg were the only two having fun.
Well, I think you have to have fun to be able to do this. Yeah, there's no way. But we all know actors and have seen, especially actors trying to make something of themselves or hang on to something that they once had. They take themselves too seriously. And so I can see how people would try to do that. I don't know that much of the production was built that way, though, because, guys, to me, Emily DeRaven looked like she was having fun. Dave Thomas looked like he was having a whole lot of fun with the strippers.
Well, yeah, but Dave Thomas's only scene is in a strip club full of naked extras. How can he not have a good day at work that day?
It's great strippers named Tess Tickler. And I loved when the preacher is reading off the victims at the next service.
I think the best touch about that whole scene at the service is how he's trying not to cry.
Yeah.
When he's up at
I didn't read his cry. I read it. He was sweating because he was getting off on it, man. He was like, "Oh yeah, Candy Lane," or whatever it was. So,
oh yeah, maybe I read it wrong.
I loved that though because he's browbeating people about the contribution, right? The standard issue, false preacher, right? And you get them coins, get them bills out, and then he's slapping the bills on a pair of titties later on in the evening. So, it's a violent strip club scene that goes down with Goldberg. Goldberg lays out that strip club, man. Brian, remember we saw Michael Myers kill all the strippers and stuff? I was like, damn it, I knew Rob Zombie had ripped that off from something. And here it is.
And he does he looks like he's killing all the guys who go to the strip club, but leaving all the strippers alive, and then he fucking burns them alive.
What does he say? He conjures up like a fireball and says, naughty. Very Silent Night, Deadly Night, by the way.
It's a hot coal.
Yeah, there we go. It's a hot coal.
Brimstone.
See, there you go. But yeah, let's talk about the true legend of Santa, if we will, that gets told to us in 2 parts. The second part of which is in a format that I will admit now, I cannot watch those old, Rudolph and Frosty things that are the stop motion animation. They freak the
terrible.
Oh, come on! What is wrong with you people?
No, they scare me to death. They just do. As a child, I was frightened by them, and I just can't watch them again. I just
watched those literally Saturday night, 2 days ago. I watched those right before we recorded this. So, and I thought that part was great because it was if you're gonna make fun of, if you're gonna reference Christmas things, you may as well reference the most iconic Christmas things you can. And the fact that it wasn't just a throwaway, but that they worked it into the narrative as this is the origin story of evil Santa. It worked for me. And plus, there was curling involved, which amused me.
Yeah, I was going to say, was this right after the curling craze had hit, or was this before? I couldn't decide.
It
2005.
Yeah, that would be after, because wasn't the Winter Olympics in 2004?
Yeah, I think that's right. So I loved how that little time reference there, that it came down to curling. Again, I'm freaked out by the
curling. The curling craze was at 2008.
It was.
Yeah, because that's when they had all the hot curling girls, and
they still had a bunch of the hot curling girls in 2004 though, because I remember that being a thing too. I think curling just comes back when people realize it's a bunch of attractive Nordic-looking women.
Well, there are all Nordic women, but yes.
But there were none in this. There were just the claymation Santa Goldberg and the a jolly old angel that decided just to be a.
Jolly old Robert Culp.
I know, yeah, but that's the thing. I was like, it doesn't even look like Culp. Like they're saving that as some big secret, as if you couldn't have already figured out. Oh, Grandpa's that angel. So, but
I thought it looked like him to me, like as much as any claymation thing can look like anything.
granted, the claymation Santa Berg did not really look like Goldberg either, but But I love the whole story there. I thought that was hilarious. And if you're going to play this off as Santa is Satan's son, okay, we had two immaculate conceptions, right? We had the virgin birth of Mary, and then we had
the Virgin Erica.
Yeah, which I thought was just fabulous.
That chick is with Satan. She's no virgin.
Yeah, I was explaining the general backstory to my wife earlier today, and when I got to the Virgin Erica, she just started laughing.
Yeah. Well, you got to have somewhere. So, but no, I thought that was funny. I mean, it's a cool way to play it, and the fact that it all went down to a curling game and a bet. I was like, well, that sounds like something South Park would do. Like, honestly. So, I wonder if those guys
definitely something South Park would do. Yeah.
I was like, I'm surprised those guys that probably didn't have an uncredited rewrite on this somewhere. So, but that's our story, and as we see Santa's reigning terror in hell all through town, right? Like the strip club, he's taking out the old grandma. He's making
what about the best scene in the movie where the kids wake up and open their Christmas gifts and it blows their heads off?
It's like the two kids from Talladega Nights, so reverend children, let's open our mother effing presents and all this stuff. And they blow up, and then Grandma was like, F.
She looks at Grandma and says, fuck. That was it. Like, wow.
Which, by the way, if you notice in the credit sequence, she was on the naughty list for that. So she had a little green package or a red X, and so she was a red X just for that. Grandpa was on the other, but yeah. I love that, though. I thought that was hilarious. I wanted to see more of that. That was Silent Night, Deadly Night 5,
I thought that was a good scene. I enjoyed it.
I liked that the name of the town was Hell, and that there's actually a Hell, Michigan.
But it wasn't Hell. It was Hell County.
But I thought the town was also Hell, because
Hell's Township is what it was called.
Because it was Hell's Bells, the concert that they never showed because they couldn't get any bands.
No, I love all like the Hell references that the DJ lays out early in the first scene or whatever in town. I can't even remember all of them, but it's so it's we'll have Jingle Hell's Bells, and we'll have Satan Sluts and this and that. Yeah, I mean, it's just everything.
Get ready to rock your knob.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
It's also very innuendo laden. So.
Oh yeah. God.
So, yeah, I thought that was funny though. I was laughing at this stuff because I was like, well, this is just hilarious now. So I mean,
my favorite though, that for funny, is when they pull up to the gas station and it says "Eat here, get gas." That was great.
It works at the gas station, Brian.
Eat here and get gas. Zeus.
Tommy Lister is the. Hey, bro, I just moved here out the hood.
It's Zeus.
Yeah. Anytime he shows up for cameras,
gotta have Zeus in
I
this
didn't
movie,
expect
right?
that.
I didn't either. I was like, well, I guess he's friends with Goldberg or something.
And he's all excited about $2 and change.
No. Hey, by the way, were the bouncers at the strip club like also former wrestlers? They looked like they could have.
I don't think so.
Okay, they look.
I was trying to figure it out. I didn't recognize anyone, so they may have been development guys, but
the one he strangles with the wreath kind of looks like Larry the Cable Guy, but not as fat. So I didn't know. But,
well, one of the things I can't tell you is that Vince Russo was one of these strip club patrons.
Really? I didn't catch that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he the one that gets electrocuted by the pole? So, or is that Eduardo the electrician who's working on the movie? So
Vince Russo.
That guy wasn't credited. Yeah, but Vince Russo's one of the guys like at the bar, I believe.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that scene now.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I can't believe I did not catch that.
Wow. See, now you're already on rewatch, like number 3 now, man. So
number 2 for me.
Yeah, you're into this movie now. So you own it.
Vince Russo, patron in strip club, uncredited. Holy shit!
How about that? So, well, now we know what he was doing when he wasn't working.
Well, he was in TNA at this point.
Oh, so that explains a lot about their ratings. But
He's probably who
Right.
punched up the script.
well, that's probably not untrue. So,
This girl isn't slutty enough. She's got to be sluttier.
yeah. So, I'm surprised they didn't have her slow. I guess it's supposed to be cold, so Vince, she can't wear a miniskirt. No, so no, she can't. So they had to go with it. But okay, let's talk about the
He's
death.
going on a rage now, right?
Say what?
Santa's starting to go on his rampage.
Just a little bit.
Where's he go? He goes to the sandwich shop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Let's talk about the death of the boss now, though. The Jewish meat store owner who gets killed by his own menorah.
Well, what the hell is he doing in the shop if he's closed for Christmas anyway? Come on, dude.
Maybe he lives above it. I don't know.
I couldn't tell that, but it just seems kind of dumb to be there.
Why was he still there hours later? I have no idea. It's a good question.
Well, he was there hours later because he was hanging from his wall.
Yeah, well, no, why was he there hours after he had let them off of work? Is what I'm saying, because they had time to sit down.
He was there the next day.
Grandpa and all this stuff.
No, he was there the next day. It was Christmas Day. He let them go on Christmas Eve.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Okay,
So he was there when they were closed on Christmas Day for some reason.
I guess he just tends
Cleaning
Okay,
his slicer.
I looked it up, and the bouncer guy is a professional wrestler.
Oh, what's his name?
King Lao, Lau. He's like the only fully ethnic Chinese professional wrestler. And he trained in the Stu Hart dungeon. So when they were shooting this in Canada, he was probably there, and they roped him into it.
Let's talk about Saul Rubinek's death, though. The Jewish store owner who's working on Christmas Day when it's closed. I think he's cleaning his meat grinder, is what it looks like.
He's cleaning his meat slicer.
Yeah, and Santa wants in, and he says no, and then Santa does the worst door break-in of all time, but bothers to turn the sign from closed to open.
Yeah, why was that? I don't know.
Intimidation? I don't know.
We're closed. No,
But what
you're
does
not.
he start throwing at him is what I want to know. Like, he starts chucking
He starts
candy?
throwing. He starts throwing dreidels. Yes,
He starts throwing dreidels at him?
that's what he has in that little container because he tried to spin one when he sent the kids home,
Oh.
and it went flying off things.
Oh.
So it's got a tin full of dreidels, and he starts throwing them at Goldberg as if that's gonna hurt. But yeah,
I was wondering why he was throwing peppermints at him.
yeah, they were dreidels.
Yeah. So Goldberg or Santaberg picks him up and stabs him through the throat with his menorah, hanging him on the wall, a la Michael Myers from Halloween 1.
Yes.
Gross. And then Santa goes about like eating some food.
Yeah, what was that? Like potato salad or something?
I
Yeah,
guess.
looked like potato salad.
I mean, the hell deer ate the
The head of
the parking attendants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess everybody got to eat.
Get hungry, man, especially after all that killing.
I guess so. But yeah, so we kill the guy. Or as I wrote in my notes, Santa kills a Jew, another one, after he confuses the Hasidic Jews as Amish.
No, he doesn't do that. That's the cops who do that.
Oh,
that
that's
was the cops.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So it's all running together at this point. So Nicholas comes and finds his boss, and of course gets arrested for it because it would have only been better.
Well, he was kind of standing there poking at his menorah.
He was trying to remove the menorah as the boss is somehow or another still alive talking to him. That's what I didn't get.
Right. Well, he was only alive for a few seconds, but yes.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. If I'm a cop and I walk in on a guy with the menorah in his hands and the guy dead on the wall, I kind of probably arrest him too.
Your Honor, he had the menorah.
Right?
But let's not ourselves that this kid. There's no way this kid could impale anyone with a menorah. He doesn't have he can't even break a sheet of glass later in the movie.
Yeah, look,
Yes.
I got to say this. Emily DeRaven is going to be really disappointed. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, she has to make every first move in this relationship.
She really does, yeah. And, anyway, yeah. I think we've already established the dipshitness of Nicholas. So
Yeah.
He's pretty
Well
pretty
noted.
useless. Yeah, but they're gonna get him in jail. But of course, he gets bailed out by his girlfriend. Santa attacks and whacks the entire police force. Because
Well, can we talk about that scene? Because they're talking about the fact that the killings are all in the shape of a Christmas tree, right?
right.
And in the background, another cop comes in with a present that's ticking like a bomb. What the fuck? Who brings that in to the police station? I started laughing so loud.
I do think this film is a series of just running gags and jokes.
Oh God!
I mean,
Yes.
it is. I mean, it's all it is. It's like there's no real script. It's just a bunch of gags.
And
You
I
know?
love the fact that Santa uses gift bombs,
Yeah, gift bomb.
throwing bombs at everyone.
Because why not? I mean,
That's
that's what
awesome.
Santa would do, right? So
Oh yeah.
if he were an evil Satan,
Santa and the Unabomber, they have that in common.
he just needed the hoodie.
Except for Santa's tossing the bombs to try and blow them up. The Unabomber's just planting them for people.
Right. Well, you know, Santa laid those two smart aleck kids is under the tree apparently. So and all of, we didn't even talk about it. Like they get when they get exploded, it's just this black smoke and like their heads are gone and it's just a burnt spot on their pajamas. It is hilarious.
It's pretty
So yeah. So, but no, the whole police all taken out, gone, right? And we make our way to the gym for the showdown, right? And this is a hockey.
First we go. So they escape just in time because he bails her out, or she bails him out.
Right.
And then that's when Santaberg comes in and destroys everyone in the police department. They're on their way back to his house,
Right.
Because now they believe that something's going on.
Right. They
And
want to
so
get to the
they're-
bunker. Yeah.
Yep, they're in the bunker with the grandpa. The grandpa's doing all this shit. Goldberg, finds him there because he follows them over and some stupid carolers are singing. So he lays waste to all the carolers, which is great. And then there's he's chasing them around the house. They escape to the garage where they have two sleds. And, first of all, Nicholas, who can't break open a window later in the scene at the school, can start his sled, but she, who manages to break open the window, can't start her sled.
Well, but she didn't break the window open with her hand. She used
No,
the
but she had
helmet.
to
She's not
bust
an
it with
idiot.
Well, that's true. Good point. However, it just seemed kind of lame. So they get one snowmobile, and I fully expected Santa then to follow them on snowmobile, but no, he used the Hell Deer instead.
Well,
Because that's
they
Santa
spent all
does.
this money to rent some buffalo. You got to use them.
Are those
Well,
even
that's
real
true.
buffalo though? That's what I have to know. Like they at no time did that look
It's-
remotely real.
It's two real buffaloes. They actually have names in the credits.
Oh wow. Well,
Apache, and Ronnie. It is their only IMDb credit.
Correct.
I'm surprised they haven't been used more. Isn't Costner working on a remake of Dances with Wolves or
Are
something?
you fucking kidding?
it's
it's a
called
joke.
it's called Dances with Hell Deer, and it's
There
going
you
to take
go.
place in the Weird West Jonah Hex universe. The movie, not the comic book.
AC/DC should do the soundtrack.
Hell yeah.
So I'm surprised AC/DC doesn't have a song called Hell Deer. So, now get on that. Come on, guys, before you're
Hell.
too old or you have to do more hits.
Old. They're already freaking old, dude. They're in their 60s.
I know, but I mean, they're almost too old.
We got to talk about the chase scene, Jay.
Okay.
Because this is awesome. They're riding this snowmobile, and they're taking, going, and he's flying in from above them, bombing them with Christmas presents, and missing horribly. But then, in a unexplainable fashion, Nicholas tells Mac to hold on tight, and then kicks it into high gear. What took so long? Why weren't you going at full speed the whole time? Why all of a sudden, he's a little too close for comfort? Let's go now. Come on.
It's because Nicholas is once again the dumbest person in this movie,
Obviously.
and that is saying something.
You know what the Santa bombs made me think of? Futurama.
Oh,
The evil Santa robot in Futurama. He throws present bombs.
I didn't. You know what it made me think of is that damn thing in one of those Mario levels early on that drops stuff on you from above. Like that's what I was thinking.
Nice.
But sure, yeah, I'm with you either way. So, but I love how we get to the gym though, right? And this is like a high school hockey rink or something in here that we get on.
Okay, I got a problem there.
Please,
What high school has a library attached to their ice skating rink through a door?
Sunnytail.
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, like, that was the funniest thing ever. They go into the library and they're running. They open a door and whoops, I'm on the ice.
Budget cuts, man. We had to move the library. So.
We're just going to put this here. Screw the Zamboni. We'll come through the library. Come on.
No, but I love that it's a setup for a rematch, though.
Right. The rematch.
Yeah. Go for it, Ron.
Oh, I didn't have anything of substance to add. We're cool.
Okay. So we get the rematch of the curling match from hell, right? So what's the bet this time, though? Because I missed that.
Well, the bet is that if Santa loses, he has to then eternally be kind and bring cheer forever. Mm-hmm. If Santa wins, then the angel has to go into hell and spend eternity in hell.
Okay, so because we didn't talk about the fact that Grandpa has been run over by the hell deer.
That was good.
And killed in the chase,
Grandpa
presumably. But
and of course, Goldberg has to announce that. Or was it Goldberg who said Grandpa got run over by a hell deer, or was it one of the kids?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Goldberg did say that.
He does call out most of his own bad lines.
Well, it's good.
Yeah. So
and that's
it's his punishment for having kicked Bret Hart in the face until he had a stroke.
And then this is the scene too where they're in the ice skating rink and he turns a fucking flashlight on Santa and Santa's like, I'm fucking Santa Claus, not Dracula. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
I know. I
He's
don't.
putting a flashlight on you, not a sunlight.
No, I don't. Yeah, there was some of that didn't work for me either. I didn't know where they were going. But we get the showdown at the gym, and this time, instead of curling against him, Santa decides, I'll just curl the angel into the damn hole. So, which is not a bad plan, by the way. That's actually, that's very Satan.
Well, here's the stupid thing, is that in the first time, Santa went first and put his thing right on the mark, and then he got it knocked in by the other guy. So now the angel goes first, puts it right on the mark, so you're thinking, well, Satan just has to knock his fucking thing out and he wins. Mm-hmm. And instead he tosses him into the hole instead, but whatever.
He's taking no chances this time.
See,
right.
See, I thought that's why Grandpa Robert Culp was going to told him the practical presents are the ones that are the best, because he gave him that walnut shooting nutcracker.
Yeah.
I figured that was going to come into play somehow. And it eventually did, but I assumed he was going to knock the stone off course or something.
I thought that's the way it was going to be too, and the way it ended up being made zero sense to me. Stop the flame, brimstone in the middle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he shot it. Nicholas shoots it through the brimstone, and it hits Santa in the chest. And I actually at that point said, if this is how this movie ends, I'm going to be really pissed.
Well, and he shot him in the side of the chest that's not even where the heart is.
Right.
It's like, well, what the fuck good does that do? It takes out a lung.
And it clearly didn't even get much penetration, because you can see it just embedded into his chest. Yeah.
Right.
It's like you shot him with a BB.
What a wasted gag, or whatever you want to call that.
That was a totally wasted gag. Yeah, it's completely.
And also, I thought the thing about how chestnuts explode if you don't skin while roasting them, I thought it was going to blow up or something and explode his chest cavity.
Would have made much more sense.
I was like, Grandpa needed a chestnut machine gun or something to make that pay off, not just the nutcracker. Yeah,
none of it paid off. They wasted a whole line and didn't even use it. What he just said would have made much more sense if the chestnut then blew up.
I agree.
But it didn't.
But we're able to corral the locals because, who doesn't want to take down a buck like that? Especially the Native American talking with the voice aid after having a, removal for smoking.
Yeah.
I think you mean Ned from South Park.
Yeah, there we go. It's Ned, but Native American Ned. So.
It's Native American Ned and Jimbo, a.k.a. the Bazooka Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
A.k.a. Burt Gummer.
Yes, it is Burt Gummer. Yes, very much. Everybody's aiming for the hell deer, but of course they shoot, and it is like a scene out of Tremors with all the fake guts.
Guys, they're shooting it a mile away. Wait till the damn thing gets close before you waste all your ammunition.
Really? Yeah, once again.
But I guess they needed to be that far for the bazooka, otherwise shit would have gotten serious.
I think it got pretty serious anyway because everything landed on them. So, including Pastor Timmons, who apparently lands on the flagpole.
Okay, so everything lands on them, yet they're still able to keep the carcass.
Right.
Which looks pretty good.
I'm like, what did they actually blow up? That's what I wanted to know.
Maybe they blew up the sleigh.
The sleigh is made out of guts?
Yeah, right?
Well, it is evil. I don't know. Maybe it is. It makes as much sense as anything else.
Is it a Freddy sleigh? It's made out of souls? You know?
Yeah, it's like a Hellraiser sled.
There you go. Oh wow, yeah. That, as if I didn't need another reference to that. So, but yeah,
Apparently you did.
Yeah, it could have been a Hellraiser sled. You're right. So, but we end with Mac and Nicholas finally exchanging platitudes. What is it? You throw like a girl, you kiss like a guy, or something like that.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was awful.
How does he know how she kisses like a guy? I mean, what the hell? Nicholas?
What is that? You know what? There's some of that punched up dialogue from Vince Russo.
There you go.
Right there.
But we got to say, that happens. But the big thing is that they down the sled, but Santa's not in it. Instead, He's got the pastor dressed as Santa, who has then been impaled by the flagpole.
Right, and Nicholas gets the Book des Claws away from that's hidden underneath the dead Santa pastor to hang on to for safekeeping, I guess.
For future, because they know that Santa has escaped, but they don't want to alarm the townfolk of Hell Township by letting them know that the real Santa is not the guy who's impaled there. They're just going to put all the blame on the pastor.
Right, who is
and walk away.
Yeah, we're just cleaning this up. There's no police to do investigations anymore. So, yeah,
that's true.
I think they just want to move on. I agree, and we see Santa boarding a plane, and then we get that great post-credit sequence that only two of us saw. So,
a plane for the North Pole, no less.
Yes. Yeah.
That was fantastic. Now, this was my favorite part of the movie because she's all like freaked out that they're going to the North Pole, but they're North Pole Air.
Yeah.
So, hello, that's where you go, because that's what your fucking name is.
That was done after the fact. They did not tell that poor extra that.
I guess. But yeah, he's boarding a plane. He's obviously has no powers, because it's not Christmas, right? Because otherwise he would have laid waste to everybody there, you would imagine.
Right.
But instead, he's in his biker getup, and he's got his, Hell's Angels type coat on, and sits down next to two old ladies and prepares for his flight, and that's it.
Yeah, and as we find out,
I'm sure Goldberg was glad he could just wear his street clothes for that scene.
Yeah, I think that's probably just, we're going to follow you, Bill, to the airport. Okay, well, I don't give a shit. So, so sure, whatever. So, I'm sure that's how that went down. Well, guys, Goldberg asked it at the end of this movie, what's next? Well, I know what's next. It's final thoughts, recommendations, and popcorn ratings. So I want to know.
It ain't a sequel.
Yeah, this is true. I want to know what yours are as we wrap up a year on film strip here for Santa's Sleigh. Brian.
Well, I gotta tell you, I had a good time with this movie. Maybe because I'm familiar with the Goldberg character, who knows? But I actually enjoy the concept of Santa being a mass murderer, and I thought it was kind of a cool little take. And even though a lot of this was pretty corny and lame, it was fun. So I actually am going to give this a medium popcorn and say you should go out and watch it because it's a fun movie. And I will probably put it in my Christmas rotation.
Okay, Ron.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brian here. I really like movies with. I really like the idea of murderous Santas. One of my favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt is the one about the Santa that kills people. American Horror Story Asylum had Ian McShane as a Santa who killed people, and I love that too. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I love Santa Claus killing people. The Santa robot on Futurama. So I'm going to give this a good medium popcorn because it's got all the stupid things you want for a movie about a Santa that kills people starring a Jewish professional wrestler.
I find it funny that the guy with the 3 small children thinks movies about Santa killing people are fun. I just want to throw that out there.
That makes sense to me because how many terrible Christmas movies do you think this poor man has had to?
Well, this is true. I can only imagine. The Brian's kids are pretty cool, but yeah, I would imagine you've seen your share. Here's the thing. I like anything. I'm a fan of trash cinema. I think we've established that pretty clearly through the years of doing this podcast. But I'm for anything that, if you're going to be ridiculous and you do it right, I'm with you. And if they had done it perfectly, I'd go large popcorn in this. But there's a lot of screw ups in this. It's probably the hackneyed budget and the fact that it was mostly thrown together by friends of friends of friends of Brett Ratner. And so I'm going to join you in the medium popcorn though, and say that if you like stuff that pokes the fun at Christmas and Santa and all that, and you just want to have a good laugh, I think this is the kind of movie you watch with a group of friends, and you're just sort of you're spiking the eggnog and you're just having a good time with. I mean, this is definitely a goofy, guilty pleasure style, but not a bad one either. It's got some good laughs, and the best part is it's 70 minutes long, people. I mean, you're investing nothing in this. I mean, it is a short and quick little film, and like I say, you'll see a lot of people that you recognize from other stuff, so it makes it worth watching for sure. So I'll go medium popcorn and say it was a fun time to be had for sure. So, guys, we are through another year of Film Strip. I can't believe it. For all the way from starting with Ghostbusters to, well, now we've done Santa's Sleigh. I mean, what's next, right? I mean,
next year it's Gremlins.
No promises on that because, as we know, things can change in a year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we do have lots of fun stuff planned coming up for 2015 that we're going to be a part of. I want to throw out here for you. You mentioned Tales from the Crypt, Ron. You and I've done that one, but we're going to go back and visit our old friend Michael Dudikoff here after the first of the year. We've got a Chuck Norris film and then a Dudikoff sequel coming up for that.
Oh, Canon Films. Nothing but the best.
Indeed. Right out of the gate. And we've also got one that's going to be really cool. I'm totally excited about. Ron and Kurt, our friend in Canada, and I reviewed Michael Mann's crime epic Heat. And that's going to come out right after the first of the year. One of the cooler films I think we've ever reviewed, and going to be one of our longer reviews too. Looking forward to that one. And then you two and I have decided to take this bad movie thing to like a whole nother level. So we have put up a challenge to each other for the worst films that we could possibly think of. And the three of us reviewed The Room, the Tommy Wiseau cult classic, and then a movie that I've talked about for years is the answer to the question whenever I'm asked, what's the worst thing you've ever seen, after last season. So we're going to get those out here right at 2015. I can't wait to talk about those with you guys. We've got that Dirty Harry series hanging around out there too. Ron and I are going to review those films. Looking forward to looking at that. It's really late 60s, early 70s, all the way through the late 80s with Clint there and that character, and it'll be fun to get back into that. Then heading into the summer, we're going to do one of Ron's big ones here. The new Mad Max film is coming out. And so we're going to review the three previous ones and then get ready for the new one starring Tom Hardy. I've seen the trailers. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I could not be more pumped about that, because that trailer was just everything I've ever wanted.
Well, it's coming up on the schedule as well. Plus, lots of other stuff we haven't totally nailed all the schedule down yet, but lots of fun stuff coming up for you here on Film Strip. Of course, you can find all of this and more at our website, continuousplaypodcast.com, and click the link of your choice for the podcast adventure you want to go down with. All of it is there. And if you like the show, leave us a review on iTunes. Helps other people find the show. And from all of us at Continuous Play to you and yours, have a wonderful and safe holiday season. And for Brian and Ron, I'm Jay. Thanks for listening to this episode of Film Strip.
Thank you for listening. Please leave us a positive review on iTunes, like our Facebook page, and visit our website, continuousplaypodcast.com/movies for more episodes. All content used or discussed in these podcast episodes is the property of its respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504, C2, Title 17.